I'm not even late. They told me I'm late, and I'm not even late. It's 3:27, not 3:30, but I am live. I just finished my last reading. I went over today, and so I was like, ah. So I jumped on as fast as I darn well could, and here I am, live, early. I am 2 minutes early, so I don't even know if anyone's there yet. So I'm just going to talk. So today, I missed the last few Psychic Saturdays. Why did I miss the last few Psychic Saturdays? Well, on September 6th, I missed that Psychic Saturday because I was in a fair. And I set up a video that I talked to you guys about. And I talked to you guys about my stomach stuff and what I did to actually combat my stomach stuff. And for some reason, the video did not actually hit the air. So I still have that video. And then one of these days, I'm actually going to post it for you guys. But I thought it'd be really weird to post it saying I'm at the Psychic Saturday when I wasn't. So that's why I haven't posted it yet. Get myself comfy. Alrighty. So welcome again to Psychic Saturday. Today we are going to talk about, until I start talking about something different, because my brain doesn't stay on one subject for any length of time. We are going to talk about commitments and things, and why okay, let me put it this way. So yesterday, I felt compelled while watching the game, because of course I was watching the game because I have a real big thing about hockey games now. I was watching the game, and a part of me was thinking, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, I should be doing this. And then another part of me said, no, that's old you. That's what you used to do. And it said to me in my head that I pushed myself for the first 50 years. And now, for this next 50 years, I'm going to pamper myself, because the voices in my head were saying to me, if you keep pushing, when are you going to rest? Are you going to rest when you're dead? Do you want to be on the other side going, I could have rested. I could have had a pillow. I could have relaxed. I could have relaxed more. I could have done more stuff. I could have enjoyed my life, rather than constantly feel like my life is a slugfest. Like I have to move forward constantly. And I do believe that we as a society, well, North American society, I cannot speak for European or Asian or any other societies, because I'm a North American, I'm a Canadian. So I believe that we have kind of duped ourselves into this idea that our worth is completely predicated on money. I believe also that I'm going to plug in my microphone. Probably not a good idea at this point. I believe also that we are taught that our worth is in our money, that we have to constantly work, and that's part of our worth. That relaxing and resting is not worthy, and that quite possibly, when we do relax and rest, we are lesser than. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to me, because I believe that this idea, and I don't know if it will work. My brain is telling me to plug in the microphone, but I honestly do not know if I plug in the microphone, if it will mess things up. Okay, we could try. We can see what that will do. When we plug them. Okie dokie. So, okay. Now, I think it's on. Anywho, so I believe, and this, I'm going to preface it with I believe, because this is based on my beliefs. This is based on what I see and what I derive from what I see. I hope that makes sense. I believe very, very, very much that we are pushing ourselves too hard. And not only are we pushing ourselves too hard, but also we are stealing our own downtime. We are stealing our own downtime with these these awful, awful things, these awful, awful things that are actually quite helpful, quite good in some ways. I mean, just the fact that because my kids and I all have phones, I can track my kids. I know where they are. I can message them at any moment. That's awesome. That is a wonderful thing about the phone. Absolutely wonderful thing about the phone is a communication tool in that way. It's kind of funny that I can even call it a phone because I almost never talk on it. Almost never. There's actually only one human being in the world who ever calls me. I have two right now because my hand, yeah. But my daughter, I know my daughter is one of the only people who actually makes a phone call to me. Everybody else is texting, and I'm totally cool with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I actually love this new communication tool. For a person like me who gets very distracted very, 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 very easily, texting is kind of a primary excellent way for me to communicate with other people because it allows me to get distracted without them realizing I'm distracted and without being rude. So, what I have found also, though, with the phone is it can be a deep, dark, deep dive into self loathing, self hatred, self judgment, all those sorts of things. Because a lot of social media will, and I always find this kind of interesting. People will, and I do, I post on Instagram. I'm a big Instagram person. I was posting on Facebook like crazy till they bloody disabled me. Facebook. Anyway, um, I would do that and I would try to make my posts look a certain kind of way. And I would do that because I am posting this as a business. I am posting this as a professional. So I believe that the things I should post should look professional. So that is why I would post things with filters and things like that. But I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad about their own lives. And a lot of people do feel bad about their own lives when they see certain posts, when certain things are presented as though this is how you should live, or this is how I live better than you. And then you start looking at your life and going, "Ugh, ugh, ugh." People aren't posting about their problems. Oh, I guess they do a little bit now, but there are people who are posting about their problems. For the most part, people are posting the best things. And instead of, uh, this is not a personal observation of things. Oh, I don't have the chat up. I'm so sorry. Okay, nobody's chatted anyway. Anyway, this is not, this is a personal observation on what I hear people complaining about social media. So this is the first one. The first one is that some people seem to feel as though when they see somebody else's posts on social media, that makes them feel bad about their own life. Well, I think you could do that with almost anything. I think that you could very, very, very easily shy against that and change things in your own life and maybe stop looking at that. The other thing is the hate that is on social media. It's almost like there's a machine out there. It's almost like there's a machine out there. It's almost like there's a machine out there that is pumping out things to agitate you. It's almost like there's a machine out there that will put out things that get you incensed, get you upset. And it is like as though these things are actually based on what you've looked at. These things are an algorithm. Oh gosh, it's almost like they're an algorithm. It's almost as though your phone is actually set to make you crazy, is set to make you look at it, is set to make you spend more time with it. How often, and I see people do it all the time, and I've actually, especially about a year ago, 6 months ago, I would go on Facebook and I get upset. And I would try to tell people, no, 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 don't think this way. Think my way. Think that way. Think what I think. Blah, 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 blah. And I would get very upset and it would wreck my day. And I would go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and see people I had never met in my life arguing with me. What the heck kind of way is that to live? Why would you do that? Why? Why do we do that? Why do we get into arguments with people we'll never meet? Why do we feel the need to change the mind of others? Well, I will tell you why sometimes. Sometimes what people say online is so horrible and inflammatory and kind of anti-humanity that so horrible, so anti-humanity that we cannot just look away. That's based on history. Ah, hi, Carrie. Oh, you're at a fair today in Victoria. Ah, okie dokie. Which fair is it in Victoria today? I don't know if I saw that. Yeah, how's it going? Is it busy? It's a gorgeous day. It's a gorgeous day on Vancouver Island. It is very, very, very hard to get islanders to go inside when the sun's out. You know why? Because the sun's never out. Because we actually just had like a full week of monsoon kind of weather, and I for one thought that's what we were in complete. Because that's if you ever been on Vancouver Island, if you're from another part of Canada, the rain starts end of September, early October, and it goes till March 28th. It just stays rainy. It stays gray. It stays white. Hello, Julia. How are you? And so when the sun comes out, we want to be outside. And in fact, actually, if I hadn't been, hello, okay, Violetin Tarot, Jennifer Black Psychic Medium. That's interesting. So, do I refer to as Jennifer? Do is Vio? Am I saying it right? Could you phonetically put it out for me? Because I like hello, Newfie. Light and energy has been great vibe here, like the garden fair. Oh, okay. Now the garden fair. The garden fair, Carrie and I were both in. We were at Anderton Gardens. Doing a fair at Anderton Gardens is super awesome because they have celebration of lives at Anderton Gardens. They also have allotments, which is more of a Britishy sort of thing. Allotments are little gardens that people can rent. They don't rent things at Anderton Gardens. The woman who owns Anderton Gardens actually rents the people the space for $1 a year because she is not greedy. She's awesome. And when we did our fairs in Anderton Gardens, oh, they're lively and wonderful. And I know this is going to sound weird, but I almost wish I hadn't been as busy as I was so I could experience the garden a little bit more. So maybe that just means I should go see the garden when I'm not working. That's probably what it is. Okie dokie. Violet Ann is my craft spiritual name, but name is Jenny. Okie dokie. So do you prefer to be referred to as Violet? That's my question next. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Now, Rhonda. Hi, Bobby. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I was wondering what messages you have for me and my mom. Okie dokie. Honestly, I don't know if your dad, I don't know if your dad's right there or alive. And the message is actually, I hear dad. And I hear keep it up, keep it going. That's actually what I hear. I don't know. Yeah. That's what I hear. Like the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Which was one of my favorites when I was a little girl. Not sure why, but it actually was. I can. I can. I know I can. I know I can. Anyway, does everyone remember the little engine that could? That's what that was. I didn't mention the little engine that could. Okie dokie. So I am having a beautiful day. I have actually, though, been doing readings since 11 o'clock straight. Because I had four ladies show up for 2 hours and I have a real hard time. Everyone knows this. Anyone who's waited to have, she do not mind either. Okie dokie. Okay. I have trouble staying on time because there's no time in the spirit world. So they don't care that this person's only going to be here for a half hour. They have to say what they have to say, and they have to say it for the length that they have to say it. Yeah. And it's, yeah. Anyone else who does readings that is watching, can you back me up on that one? It is very, very, very hard to stick it at a time period within readings because there is no time. It's very confusing for me. So, okay, dokie. Rhonda, could you, because I am hearing, yeah, what are you guys doing? Because now I see a dartboard and I see you guys hitting the bullseye. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it because you're right on the money. And I'm not even sure what that means. And also, you asked about the two of you. So I'm not sure if that is actually a joint message for the two of you. And that is why it is kind of ambiguous in that way. So if it is far too ambiguous, please, yeah, make me do it again. Something else. Yes, time is not a thing for them. Absolutely not a thing for them. i.e., spiritual name, but is Jenny. I'm going to ask you about that too. A lot of folks will change their names having to do with spirit. And I just was talking to somebody about that. It's I've always seen it as a Wiccan thing, because the only people I know who have changed their names were people who uh, celebrated and observed Wicca. I don't know. Okay, yeah, question from Julia. Do you have any suggestion about my studies or anything about my brother? I dreamt of him hanging out with mom. Yeah, okie dokie. In a different way is the way my brain was working, it says. And it's quite possible that you were both dreaming about your mom at the exact same time. But I know what you mean. And I'm supposed to say that. I know what you mean. And I'm supposed to say that you're not entirely wrong. In fact, you're not wrong. Uh, when it comes to your studies, keep on keeping on is what I hear. Also, too, I don't know. They make it look like sometimes it's like my brain closes shop and I'm trying to get information in, but it's kind of like trying to put the poop back in, but it's just like it's closed. Um, Okie dokie. I don't know if you're still doing the cold swims. I guess things aren't as cold as they were. There's something about deprivation. There's something about you need every now and again to give yourself an absolute nothingness break. Absolute nothingness. I'm seeing you on like a slab of sorts. That's a creepy thing, eh? And just allowing your arms to fall by your side and just allowing your chest to come open and releasing all of it, even if it's just for 7 full minutes. And honestly, what they're showing, if I need to do something for a certain amount of time, or I know I need to be done by a certain time, I'll set an alarm just for myself. Because that way, yeah, when I'm meditating or something and I know I want to be doing it for this amount of time, I will set an alarm, because otherwise I'll just keep checking the time. I'll just keep looking at it to make sure that I'm on time. So they want you to do that so that you can be mindless and just allow. And if you set the timer for a certain amount of time, then you hopefully won't be worried about taking that time away from other things that are more productive or that you should do, like your family, your job, your work, your studies, all that sort of thing. Yeah, give yourself grace. Grace. That's actually the word I'm supposed to say. Grace. And you know you deserve it. You absolutely, yeah, sorry. I know you deserve it. I think you do too. And also, too, please think about it this way: your patients. What would you want them to do? What would you prescribe as, and I don't mean CAD. What would you prescribe as a person for somebody to feel better about themselves, to get through stressful times, to allow their mind to bring in new information? And it's kind of relaxation. It's kind of release. It's kind of let it go. I actually also am seeing you put the garlic or the onions on the bottom of your feet, which is something I do when I'm sick. That was another reason I missed a psychic Saturday. I was so sick on the 20th. And then the 27th, the one after that was my son's birthday. So, and the 13th was my daughter's wedding. So these are the reasons why I miss almost every psychic Saturday in September. I missed every psychic Saturday in September. The entire of September was not psychic Saturday. I apologize. Golly sakes, time goes by so fast. So yeah, allow. See, that's what I had to do. Oh, that's why they brought it up. Duh. Because if I had pushed myself and done the second Saturday on the 20th, none of you would have gotten good me, because I did readings that day and then collapsed. And I had to schedule so many people, because I was not the me I am, because I actually have to be in good health to do this. You guys know that. You know that. You're like me. Okie dokie. You're pagan. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if I'm too lazy to follow anything like that, but I have so much interest in paganism, and I'm curious as to whether or not paganism or being pagan moves into the health part of things. Like if you do things like this book here. Oh, come on. There we go. held by the land. I have so many of these types of books about the plant life of this area and which ones are medicines and such, because I honestly think we have been so completely duped into thinking that we have to buy every medicine out there, that some of them are actually just growing in our yards. And there's one that everyone thinks is such a weed. Oh, there's two: dandelions, hello, and common plantain. Both are things that people try to rid their yards of and poison and things like that, but both are incredible medicines. So yeah, I'm curious as to whether or not that becomes part of your and do you consider it a faith? Do you say faith? Curious. Okay. Okie dokie. Garden hoe. Awesome. Hello. Putzing around the house, but listen, oh, that's awesome. I love that you're putzing around the house. Okay. Okie dokie, Julia. Yes, I am feeling blocked. I was just thinking about the ocean. I will go tomorrow. Yeah, because it seems to actually release things for you. And maybe actually your cold swims that you do, because Julia's one of those crazy folks that goes in the ocean when it's cold. And I mean that with love. And I call you a crazy folk because I'm not made of that kind of tough stuff. From Winnipeg. I don't voluntarily get cold. Anyway, then that could actually be the toxin releasey sort of thing that you need to do. Okie dokie. Now, garden hoe, thank you. Okay, where is it at? And Chatland folk. Oh, I love that. You Chatland folk. Oh, you're naming everybody. I think that's awesome. Okie dokie. And I hope you had a wonderful time at the spiritual fair. I haven't been to a spiritual fair as just a part, not a participant, as just an observatory member. I don't know if I ever have been. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I don't think I ever have been because I have been this for forever, for 3 decades almost. It is getting on 3 decades. It is 3 decades. Good golly, I turned 54 in September. I turned 54. 54. That's why I had that epiphany. 54 years old. I'm 54. How many times am I going to say 54? I am one away from 55. I was told I was in Shoppers Drug Mart buying makeup for my daughter's wedding. And the lady I said something, I told her my age. And when I told her my age, she goes, "Oh, you don't look that old." And then within the same breath, she said, "Oh, in 1 year, you'll be able to get the seniors discount." Talk about build me up and drop me on the ground. Yeah, it did. I was like, "Oh, holy cow. In 1 year, I will get the seniors discount." And I was upset to find that out. But then I thought, hey, if they're going to call me a senior and make me pay less, I'm going to do that because I want to pay less. And it doesn't matter if I'm a senior because I'm not a senior, because that'll mean that half my life I will be a senior. Half. Because I'm going to live to be about 107 or 115. I'm pretty sure of it. Unless somebody hits me with a bus. But other than that, my plan is to actually be here another 50 something years because I'm just finishing Lisa's Temptation, which is my second book in my Rowan Tree Tea House Tales series. I have 7 books to write. I could get them done by 60. But then after that, I'm going to write a whole bunch of other books because I got some ideas. I got things in my head. I want to do that. I want to relax. I want to just be Bobby for a little while because now I kind of sort of know who Bobby is. And when I say kind of sort of, I absolutely believe kind of sort of because every year I get more in tune with myself. Every year I know myself better. Every year I like myself more. I do. And I don't care if that sounds conceited. I'm a child of the 80s. So everything you say that makes you pump yourself up is going to sound conceited because we are taught that for some very bizarre reason. Okie dokie. Now, I'm going to go back to some of your comments because I started rambling and people make comments. Okie dokie. Yeah, I know some stuff, but that goes a bit more into kitchen witchcraft. Yes, I do consider, I think I have 5 or 6 books that are actually titled Kitchen Witch. Somebody's got to TM that one because I think I have 5 or 6 books that are actually titled Kitchen Witch. This one, The Held by the Land, is kind of the same sort of thing as for plants and wellness. And I got into it because of physical things that are going on with my body that I believe are absolutely linked to this, to what I am and what I do. I actually believe that those of us who are in the know, and by in the know, I would say that in the know means that you know that you have psychic abilities. You know that your neighbor has psychic abilities. You know that your dog has psychic abilities. You know that psychic abilities are actually something that exists and they're not cherry picked into certain people. It's just that certain people have more glaring psychic abilities and they are glaring so that you can see your psychic abilities because we're all here for each other. So, I believe very, very, very much that because I am a 54-year-old woman and being psychic has always been, I don't like that terminology, but I'm going to say it because that's what popped into my head, the curse of my life, which is not a curse. It is absolutely not a curse. If my psychic abilities are a curse, so was my period. And my period was not a curse, even though it was called the curse, is because my psychic abilities make me oh, I don't like that. Make me feel extraordinary sometimes. And by extraordinary, that means extraordinary, a little different than ordinary. That's all that means. But I think everybody has psychic abilities. But I also believe that because of my upbringing, because of when I lived, because how old I am, I don't always adhere to my psychic abilities. I believe sometimes even I will apologize for my psychic abilities. I'm going live on October 18th at the Weird Church in Cumberland. Well, I'm going to be doing exactly probably kind of what I'm doing here with you guys, but in a little bit more of an intense fashion and in person. And honestly, there's a part of me that thinks, gosh, I hope my psychic abilities like last till then. Cause, cause I'm part of that generation. Anyone else feel like they're part of that generation? I love that. Tap that love button, folks. Garden Hoe, you are such a smart woman. Okie dokie. Now, okie dokie. Now, paganism. Yes, it's a faith. It's more umbrella term for non. Okay, it's Abrahamic. Abrahamic. I kind of I wonder if it's Abrahamic because I know that the Abraham religions, the religions of Abraham, might be what we're talking about. More of an umbrella. Okay, okay. Could it be even also knowing the land sort of religion or knowing the land faith? We have a very big pagan movement here on the island. Movement, is that the right thing? I worked at Pagan Pride once, and I was wowed because in the middle of everything, all of a sudden everyone came out in cloaks and they all stood in a enormous circle and did exactly what you would expect to see at a pagan pride. And I was first off dumbfounded. I was like, wow, because I have for a very, and this is one of the reasons why I do this, I have for so many years felt alone, totally alone. Like I'm the weirdo in the room. Like I'm the one who thinks this way and nobody else does. Like I have to apologize for myself. And it was because I was hanging out with normals. It was because I was allowing myself to be afraid of myself. It was a lot of different reasons, and you guys know all the reasons because you feel them too. But when I saw them pray to Father Sky and pay tribute to Mother Earth, I was like, there's something about this, and the energy that was created by it, and the fact that they were all on the same page doing the same thing made me want to run out and join the circle. Golly sakes, that was almost 10 years ago. Why haven't I joined the circle? Huh? Why haven't I joined the circle? Yeah. Okie dokie. 54 years young. That's me. Yeah, I'm 54 years young. Yeah, thank you, Garden Hoe. I actually even don't even want to, yeah. What did someone call me? 54 years good, or I forget what it was. I can't even think of it for the life of me. But yeah, I actually am so proud that I've gotten to this age. I am proud to myself that I know I have to keep working, that this is all part of what I'm doing. I am excited for the next 50 years. I'm more excited for the next 50 years because it feels as though I have built my tree trunk and now I'm in my branches singing like a bird. That's what it feels like. It's like all bets are off from here. I'm a woman over 50. I have hot flashes. Don't mess with me. I will get out my fan and give you a look. Okie dokie. Now, Buddhism is technically a pagan religion. Okay, I would agree. Okay, Buddhism is technically a pagan religion, though most people who refer to themselves as pagan are referring general witchcraft and such. I would have to agree. I think that you're absolutely right. And I think we don't know enough about it. I think that when we, yeah, so much was word of mouth, but being a psychic and knowing when I talk to people and things like that, I will see certain traditions and ideas that were lost for Canadian Indigenous people. I will see stuff and say, I know there's no evidence of this, but I keep seeing it. So I kind of think it's real and true. And I believe very, very strongly that the traditions and those sorts of things outlive us. And I believe that they mean something, and that's why they need to be there. Traditions and rituals are such a huge thing for our kind. And by our kind, I mean humans. We love to do that. We love to mark the passage of things. We love to have little markers of things. That's how we know how we're doing here. I honestly think it's because we're here. I actually believe it's because we're here to learn. And because we're here to learn, we need to have little markers so we know our progress and how we're learning. So, and I actually think that's the reason for religion. I think people need to feel a sense of belonging. They need to know the rules. They need to have guidelines to a certain extent, because we all come out here going, oh, where are we? Oh my good Lord, this place is weird. That's what it's like. So, yeah. And I actually think our psychic abilities are part of that as well. I think that we've kind of gotten off track by forgetting about our psychic abilities. That's my opinion. Age is a frame of mind. That's absolutely true. Age is a frame of mind. Age is, because I know people who are much younger than me who think they're older than me in their brains or act like they're older than me. And if you know me personally, then you know I am, sometimes I say I'm 7. Sometimes I say I'm 16. My husband doesn't like it when I say I'm 7 because, but I like to be youthful. And when I think about it, 7 and 16, I lost my grandmother at 7 and I lost my father at 16. So that might also be why I use those 2 ages, because I kind of think every time you get a marker of pain, every time you get a marker of trauma, every time you get a marker of something that has really, really either taken you off track or in your life, I actually think that you have a signature there. You get a little stagnated there. My brain, I don't know multiple dimension, the sort of stuff. I just, I don't. And I don't pretend to know these sorts of things. But my brain showed it, like when you have a trauma, how you can defragment. And then there you this you had that reality, this you had this reality, and this you had this reality. I don't know about that, but I just saw it. So I thought I'd tell you guys. Because if I don't tell you the things I see, then what's the point of me, right? Spiritual things like earth are based on pagans. Okie dokie. And now, this is a good question too. Have you checked out spiritualist or spiritualism? I actually call myself a spiritualist, and I did not know that it was an organized thing. I call myself a spiritualist a lot of the time because okay, my brain says it describes me. It doesn't entirely describe me. I believe in God, but I do not believe in a white guy on a cloud, half naked, staring at me. I don't. I actually believe in an energy. I believe because when I speak to dead folks, they are still that person. And they can still present themselves as a photograph you would recognize, or present themselves as the person that you would recognize. But I know they're bigger than that. And I know they're much, much bigger than that. I know we all are. And the things that are above us are even bigger than that. And I believe to encapsulate any of them as one individual being might be a bit of a disservice. That's me. Anyway, so as a spiritualist, I actually just thought that I was a person who believed in spirituality. Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody else have a better explanation? Um, ah, ask your guides why you haven't joined the circle. I haven't joined the circle. It's an excellent question, Nufi. Because if you know me, it's not that I have trouble with other human beings. I love other human beings. I love being around other human beings. I love going to concerts, not just so that I can watch Pink or the Dixie Chicks, because that's pretty much all I'll go to concerts for. But I do it because I really love being in the energy of it. I love, especially with a Dixie Chicks concert, it's like a big karaoke. Everybody there knows all the words too. And you're all singing together with Natalie, and it's just awesome. It's just that feeling of it. Been to a couple of Madonnas too. It's a very different energy. But I love being around that kind of energy. I love being around human beings. But I don't know if it's because I've been outside so long, or that I've always been psychic and I've always been different, and I've always kind of had to hide who I was from folks, that quite possibly that's why I haven't joined the circle. Yeah, because yeah, it's really, yeah, that's a strange thing about me, but that's the truth about me, to be honest with you. I am pi. I am pi. Carrie, Carrie, can you explain that, please? Uh, so the four women that were just here, somebody's left something here, and they just left before I came on. That's even why I was early, because I was like, oh my gosh, I left this so long. I left this to 3:25, and that's why I was on at 3:27, because I freaked out a little bit. So one of the ladies, if you're watching, tell her she can come right here. I will just let them in. They can grab whatever it is they forgot here, because I have no idea what it is. Oh, pimp me out. I'm your whore. I can't believe I just said that out loud. See, this is what happens to me. This is like drunk talk. I say it all the time to people. That's why I don't remember my readings. I actually consider it, I am not entirely in me at this moment. This is like when you're intoxicated. When you're intoxicated, you're not quite in you. Part of you is over here and part of you is over here. That's why you don't remember absolutely everything. That's why you say things that you wouldn't say. That's why you actually dance when you wouldn't have danced, things like that. So yeah, so that happens to me when I'm doing readings. It just pops out, which is really like, there are times after I do a live like this where I wake up the next morning going, what did I say? Oh no, oh no. Like you do when you've been drinking, when you wake up and go, oh shoot, should I not have said that? Okie dokie. Oh, you're welcome, Renee. You're in the UK. Well, no wonder. The UK. Oh, okay. My envy meter went all the way up. I have been there once. So I've been to England. I've been to Shrewsbury, Shropshire. Isn't that the awesomest thing to say? You probably, it's like nothing to you, but hey, you Canadians, Shrewsbury, Shropshire, say that 10 times fast. Super cool place. London, I've been there. England blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind, because I have been like this since birth, and I've always known it a certain way. When I see a dead person there and here, I do not think, is that person alive or dead when I walk down the street? That does not happen. Not like TV. Sure as heck did in England. England was nuts. That place is so vibrant. I love it. I can't wait to go there again. Um, it's good fun. It's just basically just medium standing on stage giving readings. Yes. Okie dokie. Well, and that's what I'm going to do. I guess I'm a spiritualist. Thank you very much. Awesome. Okie dokie. Now, you work as a psychic, you work as a tarot reader in the UK. I would love to know more about that. Is it different to be a tarot reader in the UK? Do you have international clients? These are things I would like to know about you. Okie dokie. Okay, now, next topic. There we go. That's how you do that. Took me a second. All righty. Okay. So, commitment. That's what we were starting to talk about. Yeah, it's like a fly, isn't it? Okay. So, commitment And golly, life itself. Is life becoming a slug? Does life actually sometimes feel like, oh my God, another day of this? Yeah, I bet it does. It does for me. It does. Okay, yeah. And you get into the regular life things. So the regular life things to me is worrying about money. The regular life things to me is worrying about things I cannot control, like what my granddaughter's doing. I don't have a granddaughter. I have a grand dog. I have a two, one, two, three, four, five, five grand dogs, and one, two, three, four grand cats, and that's it. I don't have grand humans, not yet. But I also do programming. Now, is programming I want to know what programming is. I'm not even going to make a guess. I kind of think I know what programming is, but I'm not sure what programming is. But speaking of which, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, Jennifer. Because programming is kind of what I'm talking about. Because we are programmed to feel a certain kind of way. Even think about it. Let's think about debt. We are programmed right now, pushed right now to consume, 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 consume. Yes, it makes the world go round. It's the economy. That's great. Buy things because that makes people work and blah, 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 blah. But how many human beings are actually in debt because of this? Many. And actually, if you even just look at it, what's our lofty goal? What do people always, oh, my children will never be able to own a home. Own a home. How many people are mortgage free? How many? Can you count on your hand anyone that's under 50 who is mortgage free? Maybe not. Possibly you know a lot of rich people, but most people, we are moved into debt just by our society. And then we're chastised for going into debt. Everything is about like debt relief. If you watch TV in the day, it's all about debt relief. This is why I stream. It's not the only reason why I stream, but it's one of the reasons why I stream. Nothing against commercials, but everything against commercials. So, do we continue this programming? Is this something we're going to do? Or the world is exploding right now? Everything is changing. So let's change it. Let's do it in the way we want to do it. Let's do it in love and friendliness and love for ourselves rather than avarice, revolution, and blah. Let's have a fun revolution. Oh, golly sakes. The voices in my head keep saying one thing, and I don't even want to say it. I really don't want to say it because every time I say it out loud, I actually get agreed with from people. I actually do. Nobody says, "Oh my God, Bobby, that's insane." People say, "Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me," and that's what actually even bothers me more. But when I talk about the state of the world right now, I hear one word: Armageddon. That's actually what I hear. Now, what does Armageddon mean to you? Is Armageddon a biblical term? Where did that come from? Because there's so many things that we think actually come from the Bible that are actually something different, like Dante's Inferno. That's where you find purgatory, limbo, and all those things. That is actually a poem written by a man named Dante. Dante was his last name. Anyway, great book. I highly recommend it. I actually read that book in one bath. I had to keep on putting hot water in because I just could not put it down. It was so compelling, and it is so compelling. And I do say go read that. But so many of the things, like, have you ever seen that poster, Bible or Shakespeare? There's so many phrases and terms and things like that, and people think, oh, that's from the Bible. No, that's from Shakespeare. Oh, that's from the Shakespeare. Oh, that's from the Bible. Things like that. So these are things that we are taught from the minute we're born. These are things that are kind of embedded into our vernacular. They're in our conversation. They're in our hearts. They're in our minds. Things like that. To me, this is programming. But programming has been done to a certain extent for survival. We do certain things all the time because we've learned that's the best way to do them. There's that. But also, we do certain things all the time because we're told to, because we're told that that's the right thing to do. I say this about marriage all the time. All the time. And it's interesting. So I was just at a wedding, my daughter's wedding. And I said something like that at the wedding in front of my new son-in-law, and his little face And I said, no, no, no. You guys have done it for the right reasons. Those two got married because they wanted to, because they wanted to show everyone how much they love each other, because they wanted to have a party to celebrate their relationship. That's why they got married. That is the only reason to get married. The only reason now to get married is because you wanna. You do not have to get married if you're a woman to stay safe. That used to be a thing. If you were a woman who owned land and you were not married, you could be burned at the stake. Oh, yeah, you could, because they wanted your land. If you were a man and you didn't know how to cook or take care of yourself and you wanted babies, you had to get married because she was going to do all that stuff for you. We don't have to do it like that anymore. We can actually completely and absolutely be our own 360. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but you can have babies out of wedlock. Commitment does not have to be down an aisle and written on a piece of paper. In fact, actually, one of the women I was reading today, I kept hearing husband. And I said, do you have a husband on the other side? She said, no. I said, do you have a husband? She said, no. I said, I keep hearing husband over and over and over and over again. Came to find out that she lives with somebody. That's her husband. Because you do not need to walk down an aisle and sign a piece of paper for the spirit world to think you're married. You just have to say, I will smell their morning breath every day for the rest of my life. That's marriage, because marriage is living under the same roof and wanting to be with that person. So we don't need to do it the way we used to do it. So we can keep on doing things based on what used to be, but now based on not obligation, but want, based on desire, based on I want to do this because it's the right thing for me, because it'll make my happy it'll make my happy. It'll be make my life happier. I read a comment as I was speaking and it got into my speech. Have you ever done that? You're sitting there talking and all of a sudden you see the word cigarette and you say cigarette. Why cigarette of all the words? Okie dokie. Now, this is someone who's doing it differently. I'm mortgage free, but I built a fifth wheel and I live in an RV park, so rent is low. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I don't mind it. I look at those and I think, what a great way to live. For so many reasons. One, if you live in an RV, you are limited the amount of crap that you can put in your RV. If you live in an RV, you actually live fairly close to folks so that you have a neighborhood. You have people near you. So many RV parks are actually right on the water. So if you want to water live, that Lazo one, that's beautiful. I know a psychic who lives in one just south of Campbell River, and she posts pictures on her social media. Her name is Cornelia, and her social media will show you her view. And it's tremendous. So yeah. And a lot of people moved into RVs. I know a friend of mine actually sold everything. She sold her condo, she sold her car, she sold everything. She bought an RV and she moved to an RV park where everyone she knew liked each other, and there were fires at night that everyone sat around, and she wanted her kid to be to grow up in that kind of community. And I don't know if she's loving it, but I know she was loving it. I don't know if she's loving it now, but I know she was loving it during COVID and things like that. COVID did that with a lot of people. And if you think about it, COVID to me was the beginning of all this. Well, 2012 was the beginning of all this, actually, the Mayan calendar thing. It changed things. It didn't end the world. It ended a certain way we were doing things. It also brought in a new strain of DNA. And 2016 was another burst of it. And then 2019 going into 2020 was another burst of it. Now we're in 2025. And when I hear Armageddon, I hear it for this month. I do not believe it to be negative. I actually believe it to be completely and absolutely positive. But I actually saw COVID as positive. I did. I totally did. Because to me, it is positive in that I love the fact that it made people stay home, only because I have a wonderful home. And that was my perspective. So some people did not have wonderful homes. So I cannot speak for them. But for me, it kept my daughter so that she was doing UVic from correspondence. My son, same thing. It was wonderful. I had everybody under my roof. I just loved it. It was a lovely break. And but my business never changed. People, I still did it like this. I had a space outside, so I ran with it a little bit. And I think they're showing me that so that I can tell you to run with what's going on now, because what's going on now is even scarier. It's not as personally scary, but it is personally scary. It is. And it is bigger than you think. That's what they want me to say to you. It is bigger than we think, because we've never seen it before. I know it looks just like something we saw before, Spanish flu leading to Second World War, but this is the second kick at the can. And I think they're going to do it right this time. And I do think it's a them thing. Okie dokie. So I maybe have said too much. Okay, Linda. Linda from Bella Coola. Can't figure out how to switch accounts, so I'm under D service. Okay. Okie dokie. Now, I don't know if that's a question for me or if that's a statement from you. Could you please clarify? Thank you. And welcome, Linda. I think you're awesome. But you know what? I don't even know what you, it's so funny. So many of you, I know what Newfie looks like, but so many of you, Carrie, I know what you look like. If I saw you on the street, I wouldn't even know it was you. Isn't that the weirdest thing? I actually almost wish that we could have it so that it's like a Zoom and you guys are actually right there and talking and things like that. One day, maybe we'll do that. Okie dokie. In UK, it's called common. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, it's called common law marriage here too. Yeah. We call this common law romantically for a set number of years. Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I think they had it for 6 months here at one point. When I was a kid, it was 3 years. Now I think it might be a year. And that's legally. Same rates, absolutely, as a marriage. Yeah. And thank God they do it that way too. Because, well, there's so many people who just didn't even want to get married. I know people who were hippies in the 60s, so they wouldn't get married and didn't get married, but then had to get married because one of them got sick when they got old and they needed to be able to visit them in intensive care. And you couldn't at that point visit someone in intensive care unless you were related to them. So ridiculous, eh? So ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. In my opinion, it's ridiculous. And I'm a non-name changer too. So there's that. Meaning that I have always been Bobby Roundtree. I was born Bobby Roundtree. I'm in my second marriage right now, and I will never not be Bobby Roundtree. I am Bobby Roundtree. I think it's, yeah, because nobody in the world thinks that my husband should have become Vern Roundtree. Nobody thinks that. I should take his name. Why should he take mine? If he takes my name, he's less of a man. What? That's insanity. My name's very cool. So that's why I've never changed my name. And partially too, I lost my dad at 16. And as a child, because my dad was saddled with 3 girls, he would talk all the time about the fact that his name was going to die with him, his last name. Yeah. So I've kept it. And he was incorrect. I have cousins and they have the last name. Okay, space is a challenge in an RV. I need a proper shop and do what I want to do, but finding places is next to impossible. Yeah, that might be true. Yeah, especially with prices and things like that. And we're on Vancouver Island where, bring out $1 million. It's really actually. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, it is late there. You are 8 hours, maybe even 10 hours ahead of me, considering where you are. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And please join us again. Yeah, because I want to pick your brain. Oh. Jennifer Black, Psychic Medium, do you sign the digital ID petition? Okie dokie. I don't think I've done that either. It's at 2.8 million now. Need to stop the tyranny. They are trying to pull that poop here in Canada too. Okie dokie. I'm not even sure what that is, but that is from Garden Hoe to Violet. So yeah, I love that COVID did in keeping us all home. I even did a post that said stay home. with me meditating. And most people liked it. A few people got upset with me for enjoying staying home. It's kind of, people get upset with you for enjoying what you enjoy now. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. It was a statement. Thank you. I think you're very awesome too, Linda. Okie dokie. Now we are actually getting to the hour. And I told myself that I would do an hour. Now we're having a wonderful discussion and I am very much enjoying it. If any of you have any questions of a psychic or a mediumship nature, please do not hesitate to ask them before I leave. But I might leave in five. I might leave in 5 minutes, only because I told myself that I would give myself an hour. And oh, I should have brought him down. I don't know if you've seen the videos. My puppy, I have a new puppy, Gus. His name is Burton Guster. And Burton Guster and Griffin, my black lab, have been upstairs all this time. Burton Guster is a wonderful little puppy. And if you haven't seen the videos of him yet, please check them out because there's something about Burton. There is something very, very much about his, I don't know what it is about him. I don't know if it's because he's new life into the household, but orbs follow Burton like crazy. And I actually call him Gus. I don't even know why I refer to him as Burton there for a second. Also, I will take this time to let you know too that if you are on Vancouver Island, I will be in Cumberland on October 18th at 6 p.m. doing a live show. I will be, because I've done it once before. I did it with my beautiful friend Erin Lee. We found out that we did a show, and for the first half, I think only Julia and Olivia asked questions, and both of them. Julia is here right now. She's wonderful, and she is um a longtime friend, longer time client. I don't know. Julia's wonderful. But anyway, Julia asked a question. Olivia asked a question, and that was it. Everybody else was radio silence. So what I figured out is if you have something like this with Canadian folk, then you might want to get them to write a question down on a piece of paper. So that's what I'm going to do. As you walk in, you can write your question down on a piece of paper, and we'll put it in a fishbowl. That is if, because usually when I do these things, and I've done these sorts of things before, I stand up in the crowd and I can start to see the dead people around you, or I get drawn towards somebody and start to tell them stuff. That does happen. But at this, and everyone who will be there will be under the understanding that this could happen to them. So it is very, very, very likely to happen easily. But if it does not, there will be the questions. And also there will be the questions. So if you come on to Cumberland at the Weird Church on October 18th at 6 p.m., I will be there live and you can ask a question. If I do not get to your question, I'll be really surprised. I will in all likelihood get to your question. And we will all be there in the same room together. And I picked the Weird Church. Well, not even just because of its name, but its name does actually describe what it is. It is a really weird church. It's awesome. I went to an art show there, a Simon Haddock art show. Simon does this really, really cool morphine art, AI. It's so cute. It's so, did I say cute? It's so cool. It's so awesome. It is breathtaking. It really gets your spirit going with the music and the movement, and it's just awesome. Anyway, I went to that show at the Weird Church, and yeah, I'm a little bit part of that show. I went to that show at the Weird Church, and as I was sitting there, I was like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of people in here that aren't in meat suits. So I decided I'm going to do my show in a place that I think is really, really haunted, actually. So that's what the Weird Church is like. And if it goes super well, I'm coming to your town. If it goes super well, eventually I'm going to go across Canada. And my brain just told me the world. That's a lot of work. But this isn't work. This is wonderful. I am so lucky. Okie dokie. Thank you very much, Julia. I will take care of myself. I love you right back. Okie dokie. So this digital ID thing. What is this digital ID thing? Everyone's talking about it. I am going live on the 18th. Oh, I see. So you are getting a molar out on the 16th. Last time I had one out, it was a week of throbbing pain after. Well, don't expect that. Yeah, I know. Easy for me to say, isn't it? Okay, so when I'm in pain, okay, a couple things that they're showing, they actually want you to do salt gargles when you do that, but I would encapsulate around it and put energy all around that spot and make it a no pain zone. I wouldn't say no pain zone because the universe does not hear no. They just hear pain. So painless you could use, or healing zone with healing might actually provide pain too. So I would, yeah, ask for painlessness and ask for it to be encapsulated. There might actually be a musical note or something like that you want to put in there because you're a musician. So you might want to use that. Okie dokie. You know I will have to. And that, oh, if I could just fly into Bella Coola, that's what I would like to do. Because I am so, I don't want to say I'm terrified of the highway, but I am. I really am. It is so scary. Knock me out, get me to Bella Coola. That's my, yeah, knock me out. I wake up in Bella Coola. That's what I would like. If any of you have been to Bella Coola, you know the highway I'm talking about. Yikes, I'm a boover. It is so scary. Look it up. I think I actually talk about the Bella Coola highway almost every time I do a live because it just amazes me. Okie dokie. I'm not sure what the digital ID thing is. They back down after all the bad feedback. Doesn't mean commies won't try again. Yeah, there's something. Yeah, it's funny too because I have seen it in my head that one day they're going to put implants in here, and that's and everyone knows who you are. I paid for something. I just got on the SkyTrain. That's actually something I've seen in my brain. So that might be actually what. But I know it doesn't mean implant. I totally know it doesn't mean implant, but that's what I see in my head sometimes. And it could even be that that's a fanciful solution. I don't know, but I have seen that. So maybe that's, yeah, means the loss of new freedoms we have left. Okay. Now, okie dokie. Now, yeah, okay. Tea tree oil and clove is a good mouthwash. Yes, absolutely. You might want to look at comfrey as well. And I use comfrey actually because I have a broken tooth. And I put comfrey on it because I actually believe if I put comfrey on it, I can actually rebuild the tooth. I think that. And I'm not going to not think that because if I don't think that, then it won't for sure happen. If I think that, maybe it will. Who knows? It might. Who knows? So, okay. I don't understand that one. Oh, shut your eyes. Okay. Okay. Shut your eyes. It's about the minute, then yes, fly. It's faster. Yeah, fly. It's faster. But I've been told that to fly into Bella Coola is like a cool million it costs you. So if there's like a seat sale or someone who will pick me up in Port Hardy or something like that, actually, I'd really like to be just picked up at Comox. That would be perfect. Okay. Quick breakdown of the digital ID. They want your biometrics, eye scans, fingerprints, and they don't stamp your passport, but it could be connected to your banking and medical info too. Hacking is easy. Oh, we have that now. Boy, do we ever have that now. It's insane. Yeah, absolutely insane. With all these new things, I'll tell you what I do. The little thing I do is I don't worry about them. And I know that sounds like I just put my head up my butt. I am aware that that sounds like I just put my head up my butt. But, mais en français, I find that what we pay attention to, we see more of. That's the only reason why. Because if I don't want it in my life, I don't pay attention to it. That's the way I am. And so far, so good. It has actually worked for me quite a bit that what I do not pay attention to, I do not see more of. How about the ferry? Isn't that super expensive as well? But honestly, okay, everyone, I know there's only 4 of us, well, 5 including me. Bella Coola is an amazing place, an absolutely amazing place. It is a place where every time I go there, I think I need to build a retreat here. There is something about this place. It is energetically beautiful. It is, I don't know if it's because it's so sequestered from the rest of the universe pretty much, because it is its own little encapsulated world, but it has all the internets and stuff. So you still get inundated with the stuff of the world, but there's something about it. And every time I think about it, when if I have a retreat, my brain says you have to helicopter people in. That's actually what my brain says. And I don't know if that's my ideas that push that about me. But if you have yeah, if you want a vacation where you just let everything go, Bella Coola is the place to go. You can't get your cell signal in a lot of places, not at my in-laws' place. I'll tell you that right now. It actually put me on radio silence. And boy, oh boy, was that awesome. Boy, oh boy, was that awesome to not answer messages because I couldn't see them. That was awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna highly recommend Bella Coola to people just because Linda and I are talking about going to Bella Coola. People should go to Bella Coola. They should go to Bella Coola as a retreat. I would say the same thing about Bella Bella, but you need to ask permission to go there. I'm pretty darn sure because I have a client from Bella Bella. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. So it is 1:05. I would like to thank each and every one of you for showing up because I know I'm so much harder to find now. I know that you actually have to look for me to find me now. I'm fully aware of that. And thank you so much for looking for me. I didn't even really promote this very well. In fact, no, not at all. I didn't even do a video about it. So thank you so much for everyone who showed up. And I hope that our little meeting, this little hour together, makes the rest of your day better. And yes, I'm going to try to be back here next Saturday. What's the date today? Is it the 4th? I think it's the 4th. So next Saturday will be 7 days from the 4th, the 11th. I will see you then. I won't be live on the 18th because I'll be live on the 18th. And, interesting. I don't know that I can broadcast directly from there. I don't know if that's fair to the people who buy the tickets. I do not know. I have to think about that, and I have to get opinions from other people because that's what I do. Because we're a community. None of us are alone. Not any of us. You may die alone, but that's only a meat suit thing. You're not dying alone. Golly sakes, no. I hope I see everyone I love when I die. Anyway, I divert again. Thank you so very much for coming. Thank you so very much for all your comments. Thank you so very much for participating in the conversation. I will be back next week on the 11th, and I can't wait to see you. Thank you so very much. I hope that you have a marvelous day. I hope you have a marvelous week. And I hope you have a marvelous evening and an excellent sleep. Same bat time, same bat channel. Oh, yeah, that's right. You got that right, Julia. I used to watch that every Saturday. Such a bad show. Right now, I'm seeing Adam West dancing when they put the spell on him and he couldn't stop dancing. Love that show. Thank you so very much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.